All right, good afternoon, everybody, on a rainy Louisiana summer afternoon. I'm Karen, this is Stephen, and we are making the point, talking about big questions in our little part of the world, Algiers Point, neighborhood of New Orleans. So I was thinking, because of a variety of different news issues now, not the least of which is the soon-to-be visit from the Israeli Prime Minister to America, and the mayor of New York suggesting that he should be arrested, and everybody losing their ever-loving shit as a result of that. So, one of the things that I just thought was really an important topic for us to tackle, because people really have a hard time talking about this, is the Israel purity test that we see happening in politics today in America. You want to start off by saying what you think about that? Because I know you've visited Israel and you would like to die there, and that it's your favorite place in the whole world.
It is. It is. I don't want to die there so long as Netanyahu is alive, but
because you die a lot quicker.
I would die alive.
I think that's true.
I've always been a very, very strong supporter of Israel. I think that, well, I have a T-shirt that says it all. Netanyahu is a war criminal. I think I absolutely believe he is a war criminal. I think that the U.S. should cut off, if not all, then to be determined a goodly amount of aid, probably all military aid, and other aid perhaps. I think it's going to take something as radical as that to if we can make any difference, because even if Netanyahu disappeared tomorrow, God willing, the other members of his right-wing government are every bit as right-wing as he is,
and more so, actually.
And more so.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but whether that would move it or not. I think so long as we go on pretending that because Israel is Israel, it gets to do anything it wants, and things that other countries would be turned into pariahs for, we give Israel a pass because of the Holocaust, because of the fact of that it's, quote, the only democracy in the Middle East so far. Those things matter, but I don't think they matter enough to let him willfully kill 60-some thousand Gazans during the war. Only a small minority of whom were Hamas fighters, Hamas fighters. So whether it actually would help to bring down the government or to make them change their plans, to me, is beside the point. It's the war crimes in Gaza and the settlements on the West Bank. Those have to stop. That's what, to me, it's not as bad as Gaza, but it's right behind it. The things one sees on TV about, well, I mean, they can say whatever they want. The Israeli government has given carte blanche to the support to the settlers, and they can't not do it, because those are the people that got them into office and will keep them into office if they stay in office. Mm-hmm. So that's the immediate thing, is cut off all military aid, and until some things change.
So I'm just going to play devil's advocate here a little bit, because I have so many things that I want to say about this particular topic, but one thing that I really want to say is just my idea of why it is that this is such a purity, test for American politicians, and that you're not allowed to say you don't support Israel, is because America is, holds some responsibility for what's happening in Israel right now as a result of, the end of the Second World War, and saying, okay, here you have your homeland back, and paying nary a freaking tinker's cuss of care towards the people who already were there. And America has a long-standing history of doing precisely this in their own country. It's like, well, whatever. Yeah, there's people here, but fuck them. We'll get rid of them. We'll figure a way, whatever else, or we'll just kill them. And that's what they're being complicit in Israel right now.
Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more.
So, for me, what I would really, really love to see are some more really courageous politicians come out here with this particular question being posed to them and simply say, listen, this is not a black or white question. This is a complicated situation. And, everybody's right and everybody's wrong. And there's lots and lots and lots of things to consider under these circumstances. Shit did not get the way that it is right now overnight and for no reason. So, and that includes the existence of terrorist groups like Hamas. You don't have people who are willing to come out and kill and say, you should not exist without reason. And the reason is not ideological. The reason is historical in terms of the Palestinians. They have been, denied freedom. They've been, sequestered. They've had their land taken and burned, and, their lives have been taken and their resources have been taken. And they are maligned, so much so that it is basically an apartheid. And, I remember reading Ta-Nehisi Coates's article about this specific thing when he visited. And it made such an enormous amount of sense to me when we all want to find ways to, I guess, justify Israel's actions. And I'm glad that lately people have begun to separate Israel's actions from Netanyahu's actions, because he's got a really narrow scope in his government to govern. Oh, here's one of the kids.
And
Hey, Remus, did you get wet? He looks a little pissed off. I think he got wet. So I want somebody, when asked this question, to say, look, don't ask, do I support Israel? Because it's not as simple as that. Of course I support Israel's, ability to exist. But what they're doing right now, what the government is doing right now, is freaking terrible. And I understand that they're responding to something that was also equally freaking terrible. But that was in response to some other shit that was also equally freaking terrible. So there's just this, it's like turtles all the way down. It's like terrible atrocities all the way down to the existence of Israel. So I don't know. I just think that it's so complicated, and it pisses me off that people try and simplify this with a, you support Israel or you hate the Jews. It has nothing to do with those two things as far as I'm concerned.
Right. And as you say, who are they and where are these people? Primarily Democrats, but certainly shouldn't only be Democrats. What is the name of the lobbying group, the main Israeli lobby group in Congress in the United States?
Oh, I don't know, probably the Freedom Caucus, I imagine.
Yeah. Anyway,
caucus. Freedom for who?
They are. I mean, for
They used
whatever,
to be the Tea Party.
Yeah, for whatever reasons, Congress people used to be terrified of, largely because of partly because of their influence and their generosity, their donations to whoever supported them. That's what has terrified. Again, used to be mainly Democrats, but not just so anymore for the longest time. But I think that their influence is somewhat dimmed because of Gaza, and because of that, I think that one may not find a better time than the present to grow a pair, as it were, and to come out and make again your point. I support Israel's right to exist and defend itself. I absolutely condemn what it does and what it has done in Gaza and what it continues to do every single day in the West Bank. And say it, not be afraid to say it. I say this with no solid proof to back it up, but from what I hear and read recently, to come up with that position when let's say you were running for Congress in the New York City area. I don't think that the Jewish people, Jewish citizens, are as united a bloc as perhaps they have been. And again, another good reason why now is the time to pluck up some courage and make some statements that are going to outrage a lot of Jews in New York, and rightfully so. Because that's the way they believe. But that there are other Jews, and probably more than we might even know, who, they might not be wild about getting up in front of a camera and saying it, but they do not think that everyone who condemns Israel for its atrocities is anti-Semitic, So put all these things together, and again, I think this is probably the best time in decades and decades and decades, maybe since the founding of Israel, when it is this is the least dangerous time to come out and make the distinction between anti-Semitic and anti-Israel atrocities.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. And it just seems to me this is another bit of thuggishness that's, just say it straight. You support Israel, that's it. Or, you hate the Jews and you're an anti-Semite and you must be purged or canceled, as it were. This is the shit that makes me so crazy because, Republicans particularly, and the Democrats have, a goodly amount of this too, but the Republicans in particular are, such a bunch of hypocritical assholes that they run around saying the Democrats are promoting cancel culture and that you have to be purist and you have to believe this. And it's them. They're the ones that do this shit. It's not the Democrats. I mean, not nearly in the same way as the Republicans do. And this total bullshit, black or white, it's a simple yes or no, to these absolutely ridiculously deep and complicated issues on the global stage is just maddening. And I just want to see some courageous politicians who've been around long enough to understand what the hell the history is here. Not these dumbass, MAGA doofuses who don't know anything and have never read a history book ever and, you know, are just don't even know how the fucking American government works, let alone anybody else's government. Yeah, I just want somebody to start being a little bit more conscientious about how they talk about this particular time in history. It's fucking terrible what's happening in Israel and Gaza. It's just, and it's hard to not look at it and see that it's a genocide.
And they're still killing people.
Oh,
a couple every day. I mean,
absolutely.
Okay, there's a ceasefire. Tell that to the dead Gazans who died since the quote ceasefire began.
Yeah, I'm pretty
they're
sure
still dead. You know,
I'm pretty sure that they're not understanding what the concept of ceasefire is.
No, are there hundreds and hundreds of members of their families? No. And you go back with what you were saying. And connecting with what I said before, not only is this the best time to be able to do this with regard to the influence of the Israeli lobby in this country, but surely for any Democrat and surely for any Republican who would come out and strongly take these sort of stands. One can expect Trump to jump on them immediately, and say they're the Democrats. They're soft on terrorists, like they've always been.
They promote Hamas.
They do. Well, now is the time.
Hamas.
Now is the time when Trump. He's still very powerful, no doubt, but it's perhaps beginning to wane. There are Republicans who have been able to come out and defy him on other things, knowing that the Trump of July 2026 is not the same Trump of, let's say, January 1st, 26, not the same influence. People aren't as afraid of him. So again, another reason to take this opportunity, which may disappear in a matter of time, yeah.
Well, and it's not going to be very long before he's going to be lame duck, because if there are midterms and if they're free and fair, it's a couple of great big ifs there.
Yeah.
I mean, shortly thereafter, people are going to have to start declaring that they're running for president in 2028. And, he's going to, at that point in time, he's going to either try and, hold on to his influence or do some crazy, run with JD Vance as a VP. And well, we laugh at that, but that's basically what Putin did.
Yeah, right.
However many years, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
14 years ago? Yeah, 14 years ago, in order to come back and stay in power.
Yeah.
We just had a yes man take over that role for a period of time.
Right.
Medvedev. Thank you. So yeah, it's not beyond the pale.
No.
But you're right. Trump is going to have less and less influence, and I think Netanyahu is going to have less and less influence too. When is the Israeli election?
I don't know, but I didn't realize until 2 or 3 days ago when I just barely heard it in passing on the news that there is an election coming up fairly soon.
Yeah.
So it's not too far away.
Hang on.
And again, like you said, assuming that the midterms are held, and assuming that the Democrats at least take the House, well, I would think there goes a whole lot of a lessening, even more so, of the fear of Trump.
October 22nd,
Oh,
27th. So just before the American midterms.
Right. Yeah.
Go there.
Yeah. And
there'll be a lot of people watching.
and speaking of the Israeli elections, another reason to come down hard on the bad boys in Israel. What Netanyahu is doing to the judicial system in Israel, just absolutely trying to make it his lapdog, which it has been.
Whose lead is he following for that?
Yeah, ta-da, yeah. These two creatures, good God, neither of them probably got enough titty.
Oh, maybe that might be it.
I think
Mama didn't love you.
No, none enough titty.
None enough titty.
Mm.
Well, it is maddening, especially when you consider that both of these men should probably be in jail. And if they were not in the positions that they're in right now, they would probably.
Oh, yeah, Netanyahu for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So given that, they both have heavy duty reasons why they need and want to stay in power.
Yeah.
Dangerous white fucking men in positions of power. Makes me crazy.
Yeah, not even noticing that I'm a white fucking man,
You are, but you're an exception to the rule.
An exception to the rule. Of course I am.
Cheers to you being an exception to the rule.
Yes, I'm a proud white fucking man, yes. But you're nice, proud white fucking man.
That's true. But in any case, I think that that's going to play less and less of a role. I hope it's going to play less and less of a role in our elections as more and more people step out and say, look at the waste that has been laid to Gaza, and look at the numbers of casualties, and look at how many of those people are civilians. This is like super, super important. People need to understand that. And it's been a while since America has been involved in like an actual real live war. And, Afghanistan, Iraq, those weren't really wars that Americans felt in general. There was no sense of pride or patriotism in going out there. Yeah, sure, we saw all kinds of I support the troops bullshit, but there wasn't the engagement. Those were wars that America fought far away and didn't really talk about a lot on the homeland. So despite the fact that, many people, I being one, tried to keep abreast of what was happening, I think the vast majority of people did not.
No.
And they didn't really care, and they just, unless they had family members who were involved in the military, I don't think that they cared. But, sorry for the sound. That's the orange ones leaving through the cat door. America is not like it was during the Vietnam War, and certainly not like it was during the Second World War.
No.
America's not engaged.
No. And there are not as many people who would say America, love it or leave it. There are fewer Archie Bunkers around than there were in those days. Many fewer, thank goodness.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah, I think.
I'd like to hope that that's true, but they all seem to have voted for Trump. And so,
yeah, that is true. Good point.
Yeah, there's enough of them out there. I think this country is in many ways stupider than it was in the 70s. I mean, there's a lot of really dumb people out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. No, there are.
And I think that's where we get that, that purity test, that no. You have to say that you support Israel, or I define what that means.
Right. And we go on, have so far gone on letting them define it, as opposed to, giving an honest definition based on facts, not just on their desires to stay in office or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, precisely so.
Just want to say, I'm looking at myself in the camera, in the whatever, and I'm seeing that some of you out there, those of the vast multitudes who are out there, some of you are going to look and say, that's Arabic, right? In your Hewling shirt. What the fuck does it say? Does it say bomb Tel Aviv today? What does it say? It says God be praised in Arabic. So don't have a stroke. Don't have a stroke.
Wait, doesn't that also translate to death to Israel?
Oh, in some places, yeah. In some corners of the country, it does, yeah. But
That's what I heard.
I put this on.
I heard it on Fox News.
I put this on before I even knew what our topic was, so I'm totally innocent. But I'm just simply saying that I'm. While I support Israel very much, I'm very much an Arabophile in the sense that I love very much the Arab Islamic culture. Not the Islamic religion, but the Islamic culture. I love a lot of things about it. One of it is its alphabet and its language. So calm down, have a drink, and don't worry about it.
That is the New Orleans prescription for everything.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Calm down, have a drink. Don't take yourself so damn seriously.
And once in a while it works.
And once in a while it works, absolutely. Oh, geez, I had a thing that I wanted to say just as you were talking about that. By the way, the color of this shirt is lovely on you.
Maroon is, after blue, maroon's my favorite color.
There you go. There you go. So,
what were you going to say?
I'm just trying, it's, age, right? It just leached right out of my right ear. But it was something about, oh, well, anyway, clearly it wasn't that important. So, on all of that, I know what it was, of course. We were just, or I was just reading about the details or Trump's additions to the scant details of his enormous amount of money, American taxpayer dollars, that he's going to offer to Saudi Arabia to build a civilian nuclear program. And then today he said, well, but, so I know everybody's like losing their shit. It is contingent on them normalizing relations with Israel. What do you think of that?
Well, considering the fact that the present leader of Saudi Arabia is a murderer, if not by actually shoving the knife in, he's still a murderer. He can be convicted in this country, if not of murder, some form of homicide.
Yeah, he didn't have to use the bone saw himself.
No.
Right.
You take him and you put him and Trump together, what the hell do you get? It can't be good. It can't be good. I don't think that there's any way that anyone except Trump, who is not tethered to reality at all, or to the facts at all, or to history, no one can really believe that Saudi Arabia will not do exactly what it needs to do for its own self, no matter what agreements they sign. Supposedly Saudi Arabia's greatest enemy, maybe next to Israel, maybe that's in the past, was Iran. Saudi Arabia is Sunni Muslim. The Iranians are Shiites. Ain't no love lost between those people. No love lost at all. And if Iran should get a nuclear bomb, if Saudi Arabia has the ability to do it, of course they're going to do it.
Well, MBS said that last night. He said, well,
yeah, right. Right.
It's going to, of course, it's going to be, civilian, because we don't, we really don't need the bomb. We can buy our way out of anything, but, should Iran get a nuclear weapon, well, then we know what we're going to do. this is going to put us in a position where we'll be able to develop it quickly and, protect ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, Trump, in his absolute idiocy, this guy's one of the sickest, but God, this guy's like just dumb as a fucking box of rocks. I mean, we got past all of this. We managed to pull ourselves out of the threat of annihilating the world in the 60s and 70s and the early 80s, with nuclear weapons. We managed to pull ourselves back from the brink. And this guy just wants to dive headfirst right back into that, having positively no understanding that in a toolbox you have to have more than a fucking hammer. He doesn't understand that because he's stupid. That's why. He's stupid. He lacks everything, including humanity and imagination.
I had
or curiosity.
My former boss,
critical thinking skills.
One of my former bosses at the library, how much do I want to say here? Okay, I'll make it shorter. Had a term that she used for someone whom she did not have great admiration for, to put it mildly. Let me get it correct in my head. This person had SDI. This person was a seriously disturbed individual.
Seriously.
And I've never forgotten that. I love that. To me, that is, this person who said it was a very educated, her command of the language is very good.
Seriously disturbed
individual. I like that a whole lot. To me, it's even better than calling him fuckface or whatever,
Fuckface rolls off the tongue.
It does roll off the tongue, But I've also thought SDI is so close to
SDT.
Yes, I like that. I like that.
Or STD. No, SDT is Sidney Dean Torres. It's a poor guy. So if you don't know, we're laughing about there's a garbage guy in South Louisiana. His name is Sidney Dean Torres, and some of you might have remembered him. He briefly had a reality show after Hurricane Katrina, and he runs a waste management company. And he called it his first waste management company, he called it SDT for Sidney Dean Torres, right? And of course, everybody calls it STD all the time. Right? So he closed that one. And the next company that he put together was called IV Waste.
Right.
Because he's Sidney Dean Torres the fourth, right? So again, and this is a total aside, but I run a bed and breakfast, so we get people from all over the world here, certainly all over the country. And in the French Quarter, while they were in the last mayoral administration, there was a big kerfuffle about whether IV Waste would continue to have the contract to clean up the French Quarter, or it would go to one of the mayor's little Henson. So there's all of these black and white signs all over the French Quarter saying, save IV waste.
Mm-hmm.
Was save IV waste, right? And so everybody's coming back to the house going like, so why do you want to save the IV waste? Is there like a big, IV drug use problem here? Is it like people throwing their needles in the street? What do these signs mean?
It only makes sense in New Orleans.
God.
It only translates well in New Orleans. Only here.
Yeah, I suspect he'll close this one, and the next one will be Torres trash or something.
Oh God,
right?
yeah.
It'll be something again equally uncomplimentary and obtuse. Anyway, all of that aside. So I mean, that's a great way of dealing with all of this. Let's throw Saudi Arabia into the mix, shake it up real good, and see what kind of a cocktail we end up with.
Yeah.
I bet you it'll glow in the dark.
One day.
One day it will. Well, and I've spoken to you about this, that I don't see how Trump gets out of the Iran war without using a nuclear weapon. And we all know, because he's told us. And his cabinet people have said in his first administration, he doesn't understand why we have nuclear weapons if we're not allowed to use them.
What's the use of them? If you
can't use them,
why have them?
Why have them?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
He's just way too fucking disturbed. Yeah. Could we do the FDP instead of
there are
SDP?
all sorts of permutations of that.
Yeah, yes. FDP. I like
all
FDP. We're laughing because this is just so absurd and ridiculous and terrifying. But I mean, he is such a narcissist that he can't admit that he lost the 2020 election, for fuck's sake, when he was the president and control of, everything. I mean, not control of elections, but presumably. Oh, God, he can't even admit that. How the hell is he going to admit that we lost this war and step back from the brink?
Yes. And taking Trump into account with regard to our original question or subject of how does one shake a finger at Israel without being labeled a finger-shaking anti-Semite. Trump, I really think that Trump, he matters. He matters. Can't deny that. But
I hate to admit that, but I mean, it's hard to deny it.
He matters here. He matters there. And I mean, it would be wonderful if not Netanyahu loses. Although again, I mean, I don't know enough about the relative strength of the different parties in the Knesset. But even if he loses, again, is he replaced by others who are even more to the right than he is, more radical than he is. But something tells me that Trump is just enough of an idiot to let himself be used by Netanyahu. Netanyahu knows.
That's why we're in a war with Iran right now.
He knows good and well, Netanyahu does, that when he loses, he's going to go to jail. He's going to go to jail. He knows that.
He should go to jail. He
should, and I really think. I mean, I think he will, and I think he will end up in jail once he loses. And I think that he, like Trump, will do just about anything he can to prevent that. That's, in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of others, that's why Gaza happened. Okay. It was in retaliation for the massacre of the
October 7th.
Of October 7th. That's true. But good Lord, proportionality. I mean, okay, the over 1,000 Israelis who were killed, horrible. But does one destroy a whole country? Which has been done, is exactly what happened. Do you destroy a whole country because of that? You do if you're Netanyahu and you know that as long as the war is going, they're not going to put you in, they're not going to kick you out, they're not going to put you in jail. So keep the war going as long as you can, as long as you can hold out against world public opinion. Keep killing him.
Well, and when your best buddy is, a global real estate developer,
Jesus,
just go ahead and just, start that rubble going already. And by the time that there's nothing left to bomb in Gaza, maybe he's hoping that, Trump will have solidified his dictatorship in America and will, be maybe bribed with being able to develop the land as a beautiful resort for the rich and famous.
Yep.
Because that's all he gives a shit about.
Trump towers up the wazoo.
That's right. Trump everything.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it.
How did we come to this pass?
Well, it's as I said, this is like the fucking America never dealt with the Confederacy. And that's what we have. These are just the fucking Confederates. And it's no different than, you're a nigger lover. Pardon me, I never ever use that term, but it's like it's no different than that, saying, well, you're an anti-Semite. It's this, complete purity test of you're with us or you're against us. And this has been a major political flaw in this country for fucking ever. For fucking ever. Oh my God.
And the thought just occurred to me, I alluded some moments ago to the fact that Netanyahu he's not popular in his own country.
He's less popular. Yeah, he polls less well than Trump does, for Christ's sake.
And so now is also a time to support those Israelis who desperately want to get rid of Netanyahu by, doing whatever we can to help them, to support them. And one good way would be to some extent, an embargo on any military aid whatsoever, however one wants to do it. But
I can't imagine that happening. I'd love to say that I could, but I can't. I can't imagine it happening.
I admit that it'll surprise the hell out of me if it does. But
even when it came up for a vote, only half of the Democrats voted to cut aid to Israel.
Yeah.
Only half. So you still have half the Democrats in Congress who support it.
Yeah. Now, and anyone Karen knows me well enough to know this. Anyone who's listened to me more than once knows that I am not an optimist. I'm a half empty glass person. But at least half the Democrats did, and I'm not so sure that we'd have had that many doing it 20 or 30 years ago. So we're not five. Yeah, we're not there yet. But I think both on the Democratic side and on the Republican side, the more the numbers grow, the easier it gets for those who are holding out. It's just there'll get to be a point where they can do the math and say, hey, I think maybe I can be honest with my feelings for the first time since I've been in Congress. It's again not there yet, but 100. That's good. That's good in my book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, indeed. So I think it was 130. I want to say 137 voted to cut aid to Israel. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
That's wonderful. And to those who would say, you're going to leave Israel defenseless, bullshit.
Nobody believes that.
You aside from Iran, tell me what country or group of countries is going to go to war against Israel. Bullshit. Ain't nobody going to do that. Saudi Arabia certainly won't, because if they have no. I was going to say they have no defense of their own. That's not true. They exist because we are defending them, and woe the day coming when the United States has to decide, I'm going to support Saudi Arabia or Israel. Well, I'm putting my money on Israel there. So,
not the least of which is that Israel has never confirmed nor denied that they have, nuclear weapons themselves.
And
the chances are very, very likely that they do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't doubt for a second that they do. You know, everybody knows it. It's just the best kept secret in the world, or whatever.
Worst kept secret.
Worst kept secret. You know. So no. Yeah.
So there.
So there.
So the purity test is stupid. Start grabbing your decision-making tool and become courageous. Politically courageous is better than politically correct. Trust me. And start saying a little bit more about this is a complicated fucking problem. It's not ever, ever, ever reasonably going to be addressed by saying, yes, I support Israel. It's bullshit, okay? Yeah. And there. So there.
So there.
Well, wish that we could be landing on a happier, prettier note. But next Tuesday, come on out at 7:30 for our philosophy club. And our topic is the artist and the art. Can you separate the two? And if you can, should you? It's going to be a good one.
Sounds like a good one.
It's going to
be a little bit of esotericism there, but also a little bit of reality there. You know, nice mix. Nice mix.
And lots of great examples to really chew up with.
Yes.
That'd be good. All right. Good. Well, so until then, thanks very much for joining us. I'm Karen.
I'm Stephen.
À la prochaine.
À tout à l'heure.